Hi, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Healthcare's Missing Link, a podcast where we help you uncover those things that are stealing your best health. I'm your host, Dr. Mark Sherwin. Today, we're going to do what we typically do occasionally is take a pause break for some just good news. As we all know, in the current climate in which we all live, fear, pandemonium, anxiety, uncertainty can permeate our environment and absolutely destroy our best health and steal our best life. With that said, we don't want that to happen because we're trying to remedy that by giving you some other things from a positive standpoint to listen to. Today, we're going to present two stories. One, a story of how some unique people helped another unique group, and how another story, how one little person decided to do one big thing to bring change to a world. Two exciting stories that are going to bring true inspiration to you and give you some joy in a life that is much needed right now. So I want us to begin with this idea of this story. And I'm going to share my screen now with you so you can kind of see this. Those of you that are actually watching this somewhere, you can probably see where I'm going with this. It's interesting, nonetheless, to understand that, first of all, we're going to talk about this idea of memory haven. It's an interesting one because it just takes small people doing big things to create big differences. A teen created an app that actually was designed to help people. It's an award-winning app that actually helped patients with dementia. And it's going to be launched later on. It's actually on there right now. Unlike most apps, this app is made by professional software developers and actually a male-dominated tech industry. And this was created by, interestingly enough, 3 teenage girls. How fast thing is that? So girl power all the way, right? This Nigerian-Irish trio, now that's quite a combo, developed the app, which among other things uses music to comfort those living with dementia, as well as it's won the grand prize for the prestigious technology competition called Technovation, beating 1,500 other entries from across 62 countries. Now, the app is going to use facial recognition, and it will detect a person's mood by reading their facial expression, and later tailor the music it plays accordingly. So if a person, for example, is sad, it's going to signal a playlist to brighten up their spirits. Fascinating stuff, huh? It has 5 other main features as well that features music that includes also a health check, a photo wallet, reminder alerts, a memory game feature, and a reach out feature that can be used anytime to contact friends, families, caregivers, doctors, or emergency services. So the girls were guided by this project by mentor Evelyn Nomayo. She's a developer and founder of what's called Phase Innovate, an organization that trains and mentors underrepresented minorities and women in tech. And they decided to develop the app when Evelyn lost her mother to dementia. It inspired the teens who live in Drogheda, Ireland, to create something that could help with this particular disorder. So the lockdown, as we all know, got them focused, as we might say, and got them thinking about how they could offer some help. So then they found out how many people live with dementia, and they realized they had to do something about it. So it's estimated, by the way, that globally there are 50 million people living with dementia. These girls are absolutely excited. They are respectively 17, and 16. You got Margaret, you got Joy, and you got Rachel. I like their names, but the bottom line is they and their mentor, Nomayo, created something amazing. When it was developed, they were interviewed, and here's what they had to say about it. The main aim for all of us was to try to help as many families, individuals, and communities, because we know firsthand how tough it is knowing somebody living with dementia. We hope the app can go global one day and reach millions of people who are affected by dementia and help make their lives somewhat easier. The message and the takeaway for this one is never think that a task is too big for you. Never think that something is male dominated, ladies, where you can't get in and make a difference. Never think that because you're young, you can't make a decision that's going to change older person's lives. These messages are important. It reminds me of the story in the Bible where the young boy gave Jesus the 5 loaves and 2 fishes and says, "Here, take this. What will you do with it?" He blessed it and he multiplied it. This multiplication effect by effort is astronomical. As we talk about the multiplication effect, I want us to go forward into this one. A story of Kavanaugh Bell, 7 years old. So we went from 16 now to 7 years old. So perhaps this section of Just Good News is for your teenage son or daughter or your elementary age child to listen to. This child, Kavanaugh, faced something that was terrible. He faced bullying in school. And rather than just internalizing the pain or trying to get even, this 7-year-old decided to channel this energy into something positive instead. And this is not his words. This is not my words. This is his words. After I was bullied and I felt a darkness inside of me, I knew I didn't want other kids to feel the same as I felt. So I asked my mom if she could help me, and this is unbelievable, spread love and positivity. The more I gave back to my community, the more I wanted to keep doing it. And that is wisdom from a 7-year-old. So he lives in a place called Gaithersburg, Maryland, with his mom, Lacey Simmons, and their extended family. And even before the bullying incident, the second grade Good Samaritan, as we call him, was already doing his part to give back during the COVID-19 pandemic. He had an idea, and the idea came when he realized his 74-year-old grandmother is, of course, the high-risk age group for coronavirus. And Bell was thinking about this, and he states, and I quote, "One day I was thinking about my grandma, and I was like, oh, mommy, she shouldn't be going out to the grocery store. She's my best friend." So initially, he took his own savings and funded this idea. He started assembling and distributing care packages filled with food and toiletries for his elderly neighbors. Over time, the popular project snowballed. It's amazing how that happens when you begin to get a good idea. With contributions pouring in, he and his mom launched a food pantry staged in space donated by local warehouse. Pretty cool. Kavanaugh Bell, 7 years old. If you can see the screen, he's standing in front of multiple boxes of food. It's crazy because they had a steady string of in-person donations, as well as contributions from a GoFundMe and an Amazon wish list campaign pages. He and his mom managed to get this, amass enough essential supplies to fill a 53-foot semi-truck. Twice. You got that, twice. The first shipment went out in July of this year and was loaded with non-perishable food and cleaning supplies, as well as shoes, clothing, and diapers. Now, with the cold weather approaching, the second shipment in September of this year included also coats and blankets. I'm really hoping you get this, because this is another quote from this 7-year-old boy. It's just a blessing to be helping them. I'm trying to make sure they have what they need to survive, because that's their only land, and they're just my family. I love that. So in addition to all of his humanitarian aid work, he's also launched his own nonprofit. And get this, he calls it Cool and Dope. That's an acronym that, by the way, stands for Considering Others' Obstacles in Life and Dish Out Positive Energy. Again, Cool Dope, Considering Others' Obstacles in Life, and Dope, Dishing Out Positive Energy. Wow, what an acronym. The organization's mission is to combat bullying and spread positivity through acts of kindness. So it's interesting that his goal, little Kavanaugh Bell, is to eliminate bullying by his 18th birthday. While 2030 may seem like decades away, we know for us that have been on the planet a few decades, it'll be just around the corner. With Bell's persistent, he just might reach his goal and continue to inspire others and live his best life in the process. You see, he believes he can save the world. And you know what? I kind of believe that too. You see, according to the director of First Families Now, it's a nonprofit organization that knows Bell, he just kind of carries that aura around him. He just says, no problem, let's do it. And he doesn't see any challenges. And I love that. And really, I admire that. We need to, friends, look at challenges as opportunities, not as anything that's insurmountable, but as absolute opportunities. You see, when we look at the idea of what we can do in the world to change things and to bring about positive change, we need to look no further than these young people. Sometimes the greatest wisdom and the greatest acts come from teenagers and children. The Bible talks about Jesus saying, if people would come to me as little children, don't hinder them. See, little children have an innocence and a naivety and a belief that says, I can accomplish anything. They just believe. They don't back down. They just believe. They believe in big things. The word impossible is not impossible. The word impossible is I'm possible. I hope you caught that. The word impossible is not impossible. It's I'm possible. If we have the faith of a child, perhaps we can, just like these 3 girls creating the app for the dementia person, and this young boy creating a vision to not only feed those that are less fortunate and shut in right now, but also stop another pandemic called bullying. If they can believe that, why can't we adults? So let's stop now, wake up, and begin to experience the awe and the wonder of believing this thing called possibility. Possibilities. I want that to be your word as you remember as we close this podcast. It's all about the possibility. Friends, dream big, live big, believe big, and have faith big. And know that you can accomplish things just like these young people. So there's your good news for the day. Hopefully it cheered you up. Hopefully it fueled your fire. Hopefully it pushed your passion button. And hopefully possibility has a new meaning today. Thank you for joining me in another edition of Healthcare's Missing Link. As I always request, subscribe. Find out who and what's coming up next, because we've got some great guests lined up, some great topics, and we've got more good news, of course. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Remember, don't let those things, such as negative information, fill you up and take away your health. Fill your mind with positive things, with possibility, and see your health be optimal for the rest of your days. We'll look forward to seeing you next time on Healthcare's Missing Link. Bye for now.